Welcome to Money Music, where you will learn about the big money in your vinyl records. I'm John Marshall, also known as Mighty John, the record guy from MoneyMusic.com. With me, the man who personally knows many of the icons in rock and roll, my friend, legendary lawyer, Derry Rundlett. How are you, Derry?
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction.
Now,
I'm getting used to it.
Good. At the end of the show, we will tell you again how you can get the values for every Elvis and every Beatles record absolutely free, no purchase necessary. Over 2,000 Elvis and Beatles records are on the list. Now, this podcast is not just for record collectors, but for everyone who seeks out treasures at yard sales, flea markets, estate sales, and thrift stores. On today's countdown of 20 records worth up to $100 or more, number one on the list
I'm ready.
is another number one hit for Elvis, worth up to $16,000.
$16,000 from Elvis. Oh, my God, I'm ready for this one.
Well, now, are you ready for this, Derry?
Yes, I am.
Because
50s to 60s.
Because before we reveal what that is, I'm going to ask you, do you think you're a bigger Elvis fan than me, and can you prove it? Because I can prove that I'm a bigger Elvis fan than you.
Well, let me see.
Now, think about it. We're going to do that when we get to number one.
Now I'll have to think about how I can prove it.
All right. Yeah. So you're ready to delve in some more dusty discs from the cobweb corners of the Musical Museum?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, it's good. All right. Now, over 400 people recorded Stand By Me. Name a few.
Well, of course, Benny King had the big one. I'm going to guess Dusty Springfield. I'm going to guess just about anybody who sang. Tom Jones, anybody.
Well, Stand By Me, the biggest hit was by Benny King.
Yes.
Reaching number 4 on Billboard in 1961. John Lennon brought it to the top 20 in 1975. But who has the most valuable version?
Oh, my God. Now, of course, we know that was made into a movie. Stephen King wrote the book, Stand By Me, and that song was in there.
But this singer was not in the movie.
The singer was not in the movie, and it wasn't Stephen King who sang.
And he's not known for singing. He is known for another profession.
Which is what?
Which is boxing. Muhammad Ali had the most valuable 45 of Stand By Me. Yes.
He sang this.
Oh, he had a big hit with Stand By Me.
No way.
Yes, way.
Oh, my God.
So find a copy on Columbia Records, Muhammad Ali as Cassius Clay, and you have a $100 collectible with its picture sleeve. I can't believe you didn't know Muhammad Ali.
First of all, I never knew Muhammad Ali even cut a single record, but I think that's fantastic.
All right, so I guess he is the greatest.
He's the greatest. He's one of the greatest human beings that ever lived. A very nice man.
One of the biggest hits to come out of Motown was My Girl by the Temptations.
Yes, and they didn't think that was going to be a hit. Remember, I got Sunshine and Bees and all that sort of stuff, and they didn't think it was going to be a big hit, and it was huge for them.
It's the song that put them on the Motown map.
Sure.
Turning them into superstars. Now, the song was written by Smokey Robinson.
Right.
About whom?
Wasn't it about his wife?
Very good, Derry.
Yes.
See, you've had your Pepto today.
I have to drink 2 bottles before I come in.
All right, now, what was his wife's name?
Oh, come on, I'm not going to go that far. Come on. If this is Jeopardy, I already won.
Claudette.
Oh, my God, Claudette.
My Girl, the 45 with picture sleeve up to $125. Now, throughout the years, how many members have there been in the Temptations?
I'm going to guess, well, first of all, I'm going to do a TV show. I met the Temptations last year, and we have a TV show that's going to have them on it. And I'm going to say 27.
Very good. Right on the noggin.
Really? No way.
Way. Very good.
That was a wild guess.
27 members of the Temptations.
I cannot believe it. I mean,
You've been reading my scripts again.
No, I swear that I am amazed that I got that on the number. Yeah,
well, we all are.
Well, thank you. Thank you very little, John.
Now, among the biggest hits for Connie Francis came in 1959 with the release of...
Who's Sorry Now?
No.
Oh, my God. I'm not, Where the Boys Are?
No.
I'm done.
Lipstick on Your Collar.
Oh, my God. That would have been the next one I would have said.
Number 5 on Billboard. Now, the flip side was also a hit, making it the biggest two-sided hit Connie Francis ever had.
And, of course, I mean, by the way, Brenda Lee, they did a top 10-sided hit thing, top 10. Brenda Lee was number 1 with, number 2 with I'm Sorry and the Beatles. I'm going to guess, so I have to know what on the flip side of that
Flip
record.
side. about somebody that she knew. This is a real person.
Something about Paul Anka or something. No.
In that genre.
Her father.
No. It was called Frankie.
Oh, yes. Frankie. Oh, yes, I got it. Okay.
Frankie Avalon.
Yes.
All right.
Avalon. My God, I did Paul Anka. It was Frankie Avalon. I remember that.
Yes. So the record, Lipstick on Your Collar with Frankie on the flip side, up to $150 today with its picture sleeve. Now,
by the way, ladies and gentlemen, in 2019, I spent 3 nights with Frankie Avalon in his dressing room, eating his spaghetti while he was doing Venus on the stage at a Southport casino in Las Vegas. It was one of my best 3 nights in my life to hang around with him. Go ahead.
I'm sure it wasn't his. But anyway.
He always spoke highly of you.
Yeah, now listen to this, Derry. In 1960, Connie Francis was recognized as the most successful female artist in Germany, Japan, the United Kingdom, Italy, Australia, and in every other country where records were purchased. Brenda, take that.
Brenda Lee was not that person? No way.
Connie was the first woman in history to reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
No way. Yeah.
So call Brenda Lee and tell her.
Well, I actually met Connie Francis when she was inducted into the East Coast Music Hall of Fame. Very sweet woman. She was not doing too well physically at the time that I met her. And she was signing autographs, and she was inducted along with my friend Bobby Rydell for the all-time award, the greatest person of all time award, yeah.
All right, Santana's first album was released in 1969, producing a 1970 top 10 hit. Do you know what that hit was?
Yeah.
People have said this to you many times. No, people have said this to you many times, Derry.
Hello, goodbye.
You've got to... yes, that too. You've got to change your evil ways.
Oh, my God. You've got to change your evil ways. Now, I saw Santana in New Orleans. I saw him down there at the festival that they have, and oh my God, was he incredible, Santana. What a piece of work.
Now, the single, Evil Ways, is not too collectible, but the album that contains it is worth up to $150 today. There is a genre of rock and roll called death rock.
Death rock.
Death rock. A song in which somebody dies.
Oh, yes. It'll be J. Frank Wilson, The Last Kiss. Tell Tommy I love him. Tell Laura I love her. Oh, yeah, I get it now, yeah.
Probably the big one is Teen Angel.
Yes. Oh, my God, Teen Angel. Yes, I would say that's a big one. I did that song in one of my shows. We did Teen Angel.
And how about your buddy Jan and Dean?
Dean Torrance, Jan and Dean, yes. What song?
Dead Man's Curve.
Oh, my God, of course. And by the way, he was severely injured on, I don't think it was that particular curve, but he was severely injured in an auto collision and died not long after, not right after, but yeah, that was a great song too, Dead Man's Curve.
Good song. Now, Tell Laura I Love Her.
Yes.
45 on RCA, worth about $20, but the album can sell for $150 today. The song was controversial upon release in more conservative times and briefly banned by the BBC.
And why? Because he drove his car to the racing ground. He was the youngest driver there. What did they not like about it?
Well, they felt it would incite suicide. They didn't like that. It wasn't suicide, but that's the way they interpreted it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd like to meet the censor on that one.
All right.
What was he thinking about?
Now, what was the first record to reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100? The very first record to reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
We got to go back to way back in the 50s, right?
No. Well, yes.
I'm going to say Cherry Pink and Apple Blossom White.
What?
I just threw out a song.
All right. Actually, it was Poor Little Fool by Ricky Nelson.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Backed by the Jordanaires.
The Jordanaires backed him up?
Yes.
And by the way, what a travesty that he's not in the Rock and Roll Hall
Exactly.
of Fame. Absolute travesty.
Now, Poor Little Fool on a black record label is worth no more than $20. But on a red record label, it can get you $200 today.
$200 for the red label.
And
on the 45, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And of all the 19 top 10 hits for Ricky Nelson, Poor Little Fool was the only one that was not issued with a picture sleeve.
Really?
Yeah. So.
And by the way, he took a great picture. He was a great looking guy.
Oh, good looking guy.
Yeah. And a nice man, too, from what, I think I said on the last show that I met his sons, Matthew and Gunnar. Nice men. Very, very talented, wonderful people.
What classic hit from 1963 was banned by the governor of Indiana and investigated by the FBI?
Louie Louie.
Louie Louie by the Kingsmen.
Who I met. I met them out in Vegas. And they do that song, folks, and you cannot understand a single word.
Well, the lead singer was so far from the microphone and allegedly inebriated
Yes.
that the lyrics were not easily understood, lending
Correct.
many to wonder and accuse the band of sexual explicit
Right,
lyrics.
we all had those words. When I was at
Yes.
Bowdoin College, we all had the words, and I'm not going to repeat them here because they would not be allowed.
Now, the real lyrics were about a man talking to a bartender about
Yes.
missing his love in Jamaica.
That's right.
The bartender's name was Louis. Most copies on Wand Records worth up to $40. First issues were on Jordan Records, where they can sell for $250. Now, who first recorded Louie Louie but wasn't allowed to release it?
You mean there was a recording actually done of it before that?
Yes.
I didn't know that because, they went into great litigation. They went all the way to the United States Supreme Court on that. And I remember talking to the lead singer about it. I mean, they spent millions of dollars in attorney's fees, but I never realized it had done before they did it.
And I understand it was recorded in the same studio.
I thought they did it in the garage.
Whatever it was recorded in the same studio garage.
Okay, yeah. I think they did it in the garage band kind of thing.
Paul Revere and the Raiders.
No way.
First recorded Louie Louie and might have had a hit first, if not for the head of Columbia Records, who hated rock and roll. Do you know who the head of the Columbia Records was at the time?
I do not.
You watched him on TV every week. You sang along with him.
Dick Clark.
No. Mitch Miller.
No way.
Way!
And so that's right. He did. He hated rock and roll. He was doing all those songs, the Yellow
Yeah.
Rose of Texas and all that crap. Although I love the song.
Can you imagine following the bouncing ball on Louie Louie?
Yeah, but I would love to listen to that version. Now, in the version that the Raiders do, can you understand the words?
I believe so, yes.
I would want to listen to that.
Yeah.
I want to Google that one up.
Do that.
And would that be Mark Lindsay doing the lead on that?
I would assume so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Right.
boy, these are things I didn't know, folks, but I mean, that's fantastic.
Now, we all know that Aretha Franklin is the queen of soul.
Yes.
We all respect that, but did you know that 15 of her albums can each now sell for over $100? And that really means, like, I Never Loved a Man the Way That I Love You can sell for $100. What was her first record? 1956.
Oh, I'm not going to even come close.
And it kind of pertains to you and me. It's called Never Grow Old.
I thought I was going to say Best Friends.
That's on the flip side. Now, copy of Aretha's first record, Never Grow Old, can get you $350 today. One of the all-time rock and roll classic is Money. That's What I Want.
Oh, yeah.
Now, who's the original?
No clue. No clue.
Barrett Strong.
No, I wouldn't have
Barrett
that.
Strong.
That's Trump's theme song.
Yeah. Now, many others have covered the original, including the Beatles,
Yeah.
the Kingsmen,
Yeah.
and the Flying Lizards.
The Flying Lizard.
Dino, do you remember the Flying Lizards?
No.
I'm afraid I don't.
All right, then we're not going to ask you any more questions. Flying Lizards, that would have been in the 80s, was a new wave band. Now, Barrett Strong holds the distinction of being having the first Motown hit for the Motown Empire. So if you have a copy of Money by Barrett Strong, and it's a black label copy, it can get you $350 today.
Wow.
Money, that's what you want.
Yes.
Yes.
And by the way, folks, when Mighty gives you these record values, these records can be found. You go into the stores that sell vinyl records, you go into the yard sales, and some guy's selling his entire collection. And you pick them out, and you may have something that's not solid gold, but worth gold.
More than you paid for it originally, that's for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, 1979, Deborah Harry and Blondie went all the way to number one on Billboard with
A glass.
very good, Heart of Glass.
Heart of Glass, yes,
Heart.
yeah.
Rolling Stone magazine includes the single as part of their list of the 500 greatest songs of all time.
I agree.
Now, most 45s with color picture sleeve are worth about $5, but black and white hand-drawn picture sleeves are worth up to $400.
Really? Of that
Yes.
song?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Now, at one time, Deborah Harry was a go-go dancer in a discotheque in Union City, New Jersey, and what else?
I'm not going to go there.
Playboy Bunny.
I was going to say porn star, but
Well, Playboy Bunny, so there
she
you
was
go.
a Playboy bunny. Well, I can see that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Deborah, by the way, that was a joke. I would never have thought you would have been a porn star. I just thought it was funny.
You're the only one that's laughing, Derry.
I know. I'm very often the only one laughing at my own jokes.
Okay, more money. Tom Petty died in 2017 of an accidental drug overdose. In 2009, Reprise Records put out the live anthology by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. It sold over 800 million records worldwide.
What?
Yeah, he sold over 800 million records.
800 million?
Yes. One of the best-selling artists of all time.
I'm amazed at that number.
Yes. Now, the live anthology album is now worth up to $400. His album called Wildflowers from 1994 can also sell for $400. And he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2002. Tom Petty, one of the greats.
Yes, and traveling Wilburys and all that sort of stuff, yeah. Great.
Now, this group, it was perhaps the most diverse and racially integrated group in doo-wop, including 2 black men, a Puerto Rican, an Italian, and a black woman. Any idea who that group might be?
New Orleans. Just kidding.
The Crests. The Crests.
Oh, my God, of course.
The Crests.
Johnny Maestro. I'm good friends with a member of the Brooklyn Bridge that knew Johnny and sang with Johnny. Wonderful man. Met him on the Rock and Roll Cruise, and the Brooklyn Bridge was interviewed in my cabin on XM Radio. Yeah, Johnny Maestro, huge. Yeah, I didn't realize that they were so diverse at that time.
And now the female was Patricia Vandross, older sister of Luther Vandross.
Yes.
But when Patricia's mother refused to let her young daughter go out on tour, the Crests became a quartet. They first got the attention of record buyers everywhere in 1959 with what hit, Derry?
16 Candles.
Very good.
Here we go. I'm on a roll.
It's included on their album, The Crests Sing All Biggies, which can get you $500 today.
Really?
Yes. Now, we mentioned in a previous podcast that Don't Be Cruel was first offered to a young Frankie Valli, but he said he thought Elvis would do a better job. And I'm sure he did.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
So that was a great two-sided hit.
Frankie's first record in 1953 was called My Mother's Eyes. A copy can get you $750 today.
No way. Frankie, and by the way, Frankie's still hanging in there. He still can go out there. I think he's close to 90.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
But what is the Four Seasons? What is Ranky-Tanky Frankie Valli and the Ever-Pleasing Four Seasons' most valuable record?
Their most valuable record. This would be all the things you've done. I'm going to throw out. I'm going to throw out Ragdoll.
That would be the Beatles versus the Four Seasons.
What?
Yes, in 1964, both the Beatles and the Four Seasons were signed to VJ Records. So VJ said, let's put out an album. One album by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, and on the other side, the Beatles. And they issued you a slip where you could vote. Who's the best?
I don't remember this.
The Battle of the Bands. Frankie Valli, the Beatles versus the Four Seasons, where you could actually vote.
And do you know what the vote tally came?
Yes. Know who won?
I'm going to guess Frankie Valli.
The Rolling Stones. No, I'm... The Beatles versus the Four Seasons. No, the Beatles won.
The Beatles won. I just took a wild guess. I just thought to myself. Yeah.
But find a copy. It's worth up to $3,000.
$3,000 for that?
Yes, the Beatles versus
Somebody
the
must
Four
have,
Seasons.
you folks got to go through your attics up there and look and see if you can find that one. That's unbelievable.
Now, we were talking earlier about the Monkees.
Yeah.
Which solo member of the Monkees has the most valuable record? Solo.
I'm going to say Davy Jones.
Wrong. Guess again.
I'm going to... Peter Tork.
Wrong.
Okay, Mickey Dolenz.
Wrong.
No, I am done. Michael Nesmith.
You got it.
Okay, now, ladies and
Wait a
gentlemen.
minute. I'm going to talk about this. Then we can talk about that.
Okay.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
All right. 1963. Michael Nesmith, who would later be a member of the Monkees, had his first single called Wanderin', released on Highness Records. An original copy can sell for $1,000 today. But Michael's mom is worth so much more. Betty Nesmith.
for inventing whiteout.
Very good, Derry.
Come on, that was an easy one. Thank you. I'll take $20 for Jeopardy on that one.
How much did she sell it for to Gillette?
Oh, it was like, I'm going to guess, many millions.
Many millions.
20 million.
No.
8.
47.5.
No way.
Yeah.
For whiteout. Oh, my God.
Yeah, all right, Derry, what you got?
Okay, so listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce a segment in the show where I bring in 2 or 3 or 4 records that I think are worth some money. And I'm holding now, Ray, More of the Monkees, with a picture of the Monkees on there, with such great songs as I'm a Believer, Mary Mary, songs that made it on the radio, and of course, I'm Not Your Stepping Stone. Mighty John,
Yes.
What is this record worth, my friend?
I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to grab it and run. No, it's on Cold Gem Records. That's the original label. It's worth up to $100.
No way.
Way.
Oh, my God. I made a bet with a teller that you were going to make fun of me on that. I feel so good. So I'm walking out with $100.
I'm going to make fun of you anyway, but...
Yeah. Okay. 1 down, 3 to go. Go ahead.
All right. What other future superstar was at Sun Records in 1956 with Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Johnny Cash?
You mean you just named 4 people?
Yeah.
And who was the 5th one?
Yeah.
Boy.
Superstar.
Here, I'm done.
Roy Orbison.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes.
Roy Orbison, more the boy.
He found little success with Sun Records, but when he went to Monument Records, he had hits like Only the Lonely and Oh Pretty Woman. Among his most memorable hits was Crying, the 45 worth up to $30, but the album, Crying, is worth up to $400 in mono and $1,500 in stereo.
That would be the album.
Yes, the album.
Is it? Okay, there's a picture on the cover.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, there's a
the way,
picture, what is it, the smiling mask and
Yes.
the crying mask?
Yes.
I think the crying mask is on the cover.
My dear friend Herb Ludwig of the group Devon Square, who passed away about 15 to 20 years ago. Herb Ludwig actually opened his group Devon Square, opened for Roy Orbison. And I said, oh, my God, Herb, I want to go up. I want to meet him. I've always wanted to meet him. He goes, Derry, nobody meets Roy Orbison. We don't even meet him. I said, you go up. He said, we open. We have our own separate trailer, our own separate dressing room. We don't even see Roy Orbison. And I was so disappointed. He says, it wouldn't be worth you going. They were opening for him upstate New York.
Great artist.
Yes, unbelievable.
In 1982, MCA Records issued the Michael Jackson album E.T. His other label, Epic Records, did not like that. As a result, Epic released the now epic album Thriller and virtually buried E.T. But the E.T. album produced a single as a promotion called Someone in the Dark by Michael. E.T. Phone Home, if you have a copy, it can now sell for $1,500.
And what was the E.T. a reference to?
Well, the movie, E.T., the
So he
extraterrestrial.
actually, yes, of course.
Yes, yeah.
So he did an album where he called his album E.T.?
Yes, E.T., and it was on MCA Records. Epic Records owned the rights to Michael Jackson, so no, you can't record for MCA. And it was going to be a huge album. So Epic said, the heck with that, we'll put out Thriller and bury it. And that's what they did.
And who did a famous song about E.T. in that movie? You've mentioned him earlier this evening, and who would that be?
Who made a song about E.T.?
About E.T. Yeah, it was a big, huge hit. Turn on your hot light. Neil Diamond, Turn on your hot light.
I didn't mention Neil Diamond in this broadcast.
Oh, I thought he did.
Where's that Pepto? Okay.
Well, anyway, Neil Diamond did Turn on your hot light. And my name, of course, is Ellsworth T. Rundlett III, and a lot of people call me E.T.
They do, huh?
Yeah, except
They call you a lot of other things, too.
I know. Yeah, especially you. Go ahead.
In 1966, Atco Records released Buffalo Springfield's self-titled album. Now, if you have a copy with their hit For What It's worth up to $75. If you have a copy without For What It's Worth, the value jumps to $300.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you come across a promotional copy, you're looking at $2,000.
No way. That's what you talked about the last show, where you said promotional copies that are sent to the radio stations can actually be worth money. which is counterintuitive. You think, oh, it was a free thing, but you're saying that they can be worth money.
We actually put out a price guide just on promotional records.
Oh, wow.
You can find it, of course, at the website, moneymusic.com.
Good.
After Billy Joel played Just the Way You Are for his then-wife, Elizabeth, she asked, "Do I get the publishing too?" Later, Billy would say, "In retrospect, I probably should have known right then and there that the relationship was doomed." I had written...
That was the death knell right there.
He says, "I had written Just the Way You Are with picture sleeve. It's worth up to $10. Maybe she should have asked for a mono copy of the Billy Joel album, The Stranger, containing Just the Way You Are. Stereo copy, $10. Mono copy, $2,000.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
There you go.
All
So
right.
be looking for that one, folks.
So here we are. Number 19 on our website, on our countdown, is from a book that we put out called Records You Should Know About. Now, these are records that nobody has ever heard of, by recording artists nobody's ever heard of, but are worth a lot of money. So just because you haven't heard of it doesn't mean it's not worth big bucks.
That is something, Mighty, that is something people really ought to know, that you might have a record that it's not by anybody you know, that it might be worth money. Go ahead, tell me what you got.
Well, 1981, a guy by the name of King Moses recorded I Forgot to Say I Love You. Current value, $5,000. In 1971, Billy Woods sang That Was the Love That Was. Current value up to $6,000. And then a guide that we put out, we list all the records you have never heard of by people you have never heard of that are worth a lot of money.
And that's the kind of thing people should be looking for.
Yes.
You may have a treasure in your own house somewhere. You know, some guy, you're going to throw it out and it's worth money.
Now we get to number one on our countdown.
I'm ready.
Elvis, worth $16,000. Now, Derry.
You mean we haven't done this one yet?
No.
Okay.
Before we reveal what it is, you tell me why you think you're a bigger Elvis fan than I am.
Well, first of all, Mighty John, I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible.
Good. Brief is what we're looking for.
How about this? I imitate Elvis. I have a $1,500 jumpsuit. I've performed him many times. I have met Priscilla Presley. I have channeled Elvis. I have...
Has he channeled back?
I think so.
Did he say what?
I think so. And I have a ring called Taking Care of Business. And I met his jeweler, and I met one of his girlfriends, Sandy Martindale. And I know Wink Martindale, who was very close to Elvis. So I'm going to say I think I would rate as the biggest Elvis fan.
Well, I don't think so.
Why? I'm ready for this one.
Because I was thrown out of the World's Fair just because of Elvis.
I'm ready for this one. Go ahead.
Montreal,
Yeah.
1967.
1967, the Expo 67.
Expo Sec. I was there with my best friend at the time, Peter, who was the biggest Elvis fan, saw him over 50 times in concert. We were going through the exhibition hall, and there, like Indiana Jones finding the Holy Grail, was Elvis's first guitar, about 8 feet up on the wall, the one his mother had given him when he was 12 years
No
old.
way. Oh, yes. My God, the iconic guitar.
Now, the big signs all around the place said, "Do not touch."
The guitar.
Well, you know, come on. So I got up on Peter's shoulders, and I touched Elvis's first guitar.
Of course you did.
Peter got up on my shoulders.
And touched the guitar.
He did worse. He strummed it. Security came out of nowhere.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Grabbed us by the scruff of the necks and escorted us out of the World's Fair and said,
Expo
"Do not
67.
ever come back."
We'll see you. Goodbye. Good riddance.
So I think I did more to show my love for Elvis than you did.
Okay, now listen. I know that you're ready to close here, but I want to show you my second album. The reason why I mentioned Neil Diamond is because I brought in a Neil Diamond album. Now, Mighty, the reason why this album I believe is worth a lot of money is because not just who it's by, but the insert. In this particular insert, you've got a beautiful insert about Jonathan Livingston Seagull with a beautiful portrait of Neil Diamond. Look at this. Look at this. Suitable for framing. So, Mighty John, with this special insert, this beautiful album, what do you think it's worth, my dear buddy?
On a good day,
Yeah.
would you quit hitting the microphone?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
$15. You should have quit while you were ahead with the monkeys.
Well, thank you very much for that, John. So far, I'm out. I got $150 as we leave the show today. Thank you very much.
All right, Elvis, one of his biggest hits of his career, Can't Help Falling in Love with
Yes,
You.
oh my God, I heard it just the other day. Yeah.
Sang it at every concert.
Yes, he did. Yep.
Now, the 7-inch 45 with picture sleeve worth up to $50. The much rarer 7-inch 33 with picture sleeve can now sell for $16,000.
Oh my goodness.
Can't Help Falling in Love.
Well, you know, Mighty, I do that song at nursing homes, and I did it one day, and I got down on my knee and was singing that song, and the woman looked to her friend and said, "He's not that good." It was that song I was singing.
No, but what they were saying was, can't wait till he's in here.
Yeah. Actually, they said they expect an encore. I said, well, tell them Elvis has left the building. Okay?
Now, remember, you can find the values for all your records at moneymusic.com. And if you email me, we will send you the values for every Elvis and every Beatles record free. No purchase necessary. Over 2,000 Elvis and Beatle records are on the list. Just state in your email that you heard Derry and me on the podcast. My email address is always posted on the homepage at moneymusic.com.
Go, mighty Johnny, go!